always says, welcome to the next installment of Talktor. Alrighty, we are getting into episode 2 of series 3. No, episode 1. Well, it's our episode 2, episode 1 of the show, because Christmas doesn't count. It's technically a 0 episode. Anyways, we are in with Smith and Jones, in which the Doctor meets Martha.
Jolly good.
Mm-hmm.
Quite. Written by my personal favorite, Mr. Russell T. Davies.
Oh, you are such a liar.
I am.
I will fight you. He is my favorite. And he is also our dear friend Christopher Eccleston's favorite writer as well.
Congratulations, you can have it. This aired July 6th, 2007. Been a while, and 8.1 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's pretty good
Not
rating.
bad.
0.1.
Yes, 8.1. It's that specific.
Just round down.
They didn't want to. Anyways, written by Russell T. Davies, director Charlie Palmer as Charles Palmer. Apparently that's important.
Arnie Palmer's cousin.
I doubt it.
We don't talk about him much.
Nope.
He can't golf, and he doesn't like iced tea.
Or lemonade.
But yes. Alright. Who would like to read the summary?
Oh, hand it over here.
All right.
Probably should have decided that in advance, but hey.
Oh, that's okay.
Editing.
Smith and Jones. When Martha Jones finds herself on the moon, she meets a mysterious stranger called the Doctor, and her life will never be the same again.
Wow, that's it?
Yeah, that's it. They got surprisingly very short after the first series.
The last one wasn't alright. Yeah, I guess they don't. They just want you to watch it. Just go watch it. What are you reading this for?
I know. I would like to start off with the fun fact that Martha Jones is the first black companion.
Woo!
Ever?
Yes, ever.
Interesting. Well, you are our resident expert on the old times.
I mean, it is England, and they were rather more progressive, but they wouldn't have black people before now.
Interesting. Good to know.
Yes. So that is my fun fact for this episode.
Speaking of fun facts, dun dun dun! It is trivia time. Just a couple points here. Interesting fact number 1. The Doctor, when he's laying there in his hospital bed, is wearing the same pajamas that he did in the Christmas invasion 2 years prior.
Goodness gracious, that is true.
Those faded, crappy pajamas.
He's not going to have a Satsuma this time to snack on, is he?
Oh, that was in the robe.
I know.
Didn't have that
There wasn't
this
a
time.
robe with him, was it? Rats.
Apparently he took those with him, though. Bit threadbare.
Well, you know, souvenir of his time with Jackie Tyler.
Favorite pajamas.
Oh, the memories. Trivia number 2. The working title for this episode was Martha. This was intended to parallel Rose from when he meets Rose.
Oh, is that what that happened in
Surprise.
that episode?
But they decided, nah, that's a bit much.
Uncreative.
Yeah, that too. But then, I'm surprised that they went with something more creative considering the writing staff.
I'm sorry, do you want to say that to my face?
I think you just did.
You're a bit far away.
No,
but,
he was looking down at his pad of paper.
Oh.
That was uncreative, but unsurprisingly so, because of the writing staff.
8.1.
Well, it wasn't all good. Moving on. The location of the fictional Royal Hope Hospital, which is where this episode takes place, more specifically than just on the moon, is in real life the St. Thomas Hospital in London.
Good to know.
Not fantastic, but
No,
okay.
interesting.
And thus concludes trivia time.
I like to think the name of the hospital is a little bit correlated to Queen Victoria because it's the Royal
The Royal
Ooh.
The Royal Hope Hospital.
Oh,
And
bunch
I
of
just like to
kinkies out.
think that Queen Victoria is going to follow the Doctor until the end of his days.
She wasn't particularly fond of him.
I know, I could be reaching on this, but that was the first correlation that made within my mind as I noticed the name of the hospital for the first time. This is probably my 4th or 5th time seeing this episode.
Yeah, no, and it's flickering neon there on the front.
Ah, yes.
I had always thought that the royal implied because that one creepy older woman was on the run because she ate the princess.
Ooh.
But
I didn't even think about that.
That is quite the connection.
Could be.
I have random connections in my mind. Royal.
And we'll never be royals. I know.
Can't see it, but we're jamming out right now.
Well, maybe 2 of us are.
So, what was your favorite part of this episode, Jax?
Good question. Like the doctor running about, running from stuff. I love it when he's running. I don't know. It's just exciting. The music's up and he's running and dodging and
Just like the look
spinning
of him
around
running.
on his heels, saying things, looking down hallways, and then sort of smacking himself in the head and being, oh, yeah, yelling about something and then running off in a different direction.
Snatching your people up. Telling people to hide your kids, hide your wife.
Hide your patients because they're suffocating everybody out there.
I was reaching there. Jen, what was your fave?
I really liked the opening scene where Martha meets the doctor in the hospital bed because she hears the 2 hearts. And the senior doctor's just like, are you having issues with like the most basic thing on the face of the planet? And she's like,
He winks coyly at her.
I know, he was
Deal
being
with that.
such a troublemaker.
He is such a punt sometimes. Oh, yeah, let me randomly throw out my experiences with Benjamin Franklin.
I just thought it was really fun.
Yeah.
He's such a show-off.
My personal favorite part is, everyone is screaming when they finally land on the moon, and there's that one guy who's having a total
that guy's
freak
losing
out session.
his mind.
He's
On
like
the
all
left.
over the place, and
And then later you see him for a split second in the hallway and his face is just soaked and he's like in a ball gripping some guy white-knuckled.
But in contrast, I love they're freaking out when they land on the moon, but then all of a sudden the spaceships land, and they're like, oh, look, a spaceship. That's interesting.
Yeah, they're like,
Oh my gosh, I'm on the moon!
Yeah.
They were filming the psych unit.
Yeah.
Obviously.
That's where he was in.
Would people really lose it that quickly? I mean, maybe. But
It wouldn't
I'd
be
see
my
how
first
fast.
reaction.
I mean, it's interesting to think about. How would you actually react if all of a sudden the house just lifted off the foundation and bam, we're on the moon?
Well, like Martha, my first thought was, okay, this is clearly not airtight. How are we still alive?
Yeah.
So,
It's a very intelligent first thought.
Oh,
My first
God,
thought
it's
would be like, oh
well,
crap,
obviously
we're
you're
dead.
like, holy crap, holy crap, holy crap. A swordfish almost went through my head. I mean, we're on the moon, but
And the point of gravity.
They keep swordfish in hospitals?
get smart, get smart.
Oh.
I'm not saying
uh,
get smart. It's a movie.
Yeah. But no, but while we were watching this episode, in addition to the air, you're like, but what about the gravity?
Yeah. Apparently,
Yeah.
Apparently that's the same. They're also in a gravity bubble, of course.
Gravity / air bubble.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're transported to the moon by the Jadoon.
They still have power, apparently, too.
Which, the other fun fact that actually I just remembered was they specifically made this episode. They created an entire alien race just to try and get David Tennant to slip up with his Scottish accent.
Right.
Because he can't say the sound without slipping into his native Scots accent.
His native accent is very charming.
It is very, very, very charming indeed.
Interesting point. Oh, I forgot I wrote this down. But Martha's asking the doctor questions, or I forget, somebody's talking to him, and he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. And at one point he says, well, I used to have a brother, but not anymore.
Right.
And I was like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that just random, he was ad-libbing or something? Or is that...
I was wondering
Is that
the same
plot?
thing. Like,
Is that...
you
did
just
he
making
have,
a backstory, or
Did he have family?
because he also was
I mean,
like, "Come
yes,
home
or
and meet the wife."
Yes.
Sort of a thing.
Because in the original...
Well, I was
in-
making that.
when the first doctor, his companion is his granddaughter.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, the doctor has an entire family.
Or
so
Had.
had
The
it's very
voice all
feasible
about
that he would
Canadian.
have an actual brother. I don't know if I don't know if he really delves into his family tree in the original series, but you know, throughout this entire new era of Doctor Who, you know, he makes these small little references to his life before the Time War.
And there is that one lady
was a father.
In one of the there's this weird moment between him and this other super spoilers, other Gallifreyan lady, where I think, holy crap, is that like his mom or something?
They did intend for her to be his to kind of be
it
that
definitely
figure.
comes across that way.
Yes.
When is
that's
this?
much later. That's like end of season. Actually, I think that's the end
It's
of this season.
I believe. Yeah. Yes.
Stuff
We'll
happens.
get there.
Right.
We'll get there, Jen. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stuff happens.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's very interesting when when he casually mentions his family, because you can still see that he's trying to be flippant about it, like, oh, this is what I used to have, but you can still see it hurts him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and whenever he does
Because
those
he
little blah
destroyed
blah
them.
blah, blah blah blah, well, it's always something like usually something that's like actually happened, and he's just sort of like talking off the top of his head to fill space. But yeah, brother.
But I know,
you never
I just-
think about like his family.
Right, and I just
He
feel like
probably
whenever
had
he
a family.
mentions his family, I don't think he would ever, you know, be flippant about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I take that as canon.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So, but
Speaking of family,
in response, I had a cousin.
exactly what
Oh
I
my
was going
gosh.
to say. Martha's cousin.
Great cover up,
Martha's
guys.
cousin. The
That would
first
be your homeboy writing that up.
Is it my fault that Freeman Agneman got cast as Martha?
Yes.
No,
I think that's the casting director's fault.
it's true.
You're in casting.
I am. And I think it's the casting director and then whoever else makes casting decisions. That is totally on them. And of course, we will see this continuously on later as the series goes on, with the many recasting of actors.
Kapladdy. Although there's a significant time between him.
What did you just call him?
Kapladstorm. Kaplad pants.
Really?
Kaplad skirted face.
Speaking of skirts, the rhinos were wearing kilts.
They
Kilts.
were.
And
Leather kilts.
The rhinos have abs for days.
I know, right?
Or at least their suits have abs for days.
I mean,
Like Batman style.
It's true.
are they? I mean, would they really be able to have like such a workout in which to develop those abs?
Not well.
They got
Maybe
a
with that
pretty
like.
heavy top.
I
half.
know, with
maybe
their
just bending over and
with their-
standing up.
Body composition. I can
Do
just
reps with,
imagine-
like,
abs just to be able
head.
to lean down and pick things up.
That's enough of the ab workout, because I mean they're just creepy to find
Yeah, they are.
for an anthropomorphic creature.
They're probably all flabby on the inside, and they just wear ab suits to make them look tough.
They're secretly potatoes.
300.
I love the
It's all
aliens that
airbrush.
are
It's all
potatoes.
airbrush.
They're secretly centaurans with masks.
They're just centaurs with really bad nose jobs.
Oh my
And
goodness.
teeth. Gross teeth.
Oh, the worst teeth. I love how their mouths move because it's so clearly like animatronic.
Mwah, mwah, mwah,
It
mwah,
looks
mwah.
like-
Cow trying to eat something especially difficult.
It reminded me of the the 10th Kingdom style, kind of like with the trolls, like that sort of animation / costume feel.
They did have the big sort of like canine tuskies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Canine
10th Kingdom.
Tuskies.
Have your canine tuskies.
K. Cruella de Vil.
Oh, throwback. But yeah, so Martha's cousin. Is identical cousins a thing?
Well,
I
also
don't think it is. I
because
feel like I've said that before.
spatial genetic jumping of stuff, because the maid in the Charles Dickens episode, and then she shows up in Torchwood. I mean,
Oh, I know what it is.
and also this having like identical like cousins is not the first time that TV history has used this, because in other TV series it's happened as well. For example, Full House. Michelle Tanner has a cousin that looks just like her, except she's a brunette. And that was a fun way to get both Mary-Kate and Ashley in the same episode. And then also in Bewitched, the little twins that played Tabitha, they played cousins, I believe, at one point in time. Also, Samantha has an identical cousin as well, which is also played by Elizabeth Montgomery.
Who is fantastic.
Yes. So, I mean, it's not uncommon in TV series for this to happen.
It's true.
Doris Day kind of a thing going on.
Doris Day is adorable.
I love
She
Doris
is.
Day.
Which
Undeniable.
Doris Day just had like her 95th birthday a few weeks ago.
I'm so
Woo!
glad she's still alive. She's
I
the
know.
best.
I know, right?
I wish she would be in the public eye a little bit more, but she's happy on her ranch in California with her dogs.
She deserves a little peace and quiet.
She really does. Lovely lady. Lovely lady.
Winding it
Yeah.
back to Doctor Who.
Of course.
I
One
know
thought.
why it's identical cousins. There's a word for this, and the word is going to be coined as Davies ex machina. That's when something doesn't make any sense, but he just makes it happen.
I don't think that's fair in this case, since I just proved that it happens in other series as well.
That's okay. I don't really care what you think is fair. I just like trashing Davies. That's my thing. Don't take it from me.
I'm taking it from you.
Well,
Because
you're
it
gonna
does not
try.
apply in this case.
I'm in charge of this episode.
That's what you think.
Yeah.
I have a fancy microphone.
It's not fair.
You chose where you sat. You
This
chose
is
that
my
microphone.
Okay, children.
Jeez, come
Children,
Mom.
bring it back.
Professionals.
Okay, let's move it back to Doctor Who. What were you saying, Jen?
I was gonna say that Martha was pretty like headstrong in the fact that you have to earn that title for the
Yes.
Doctor. Like, I don't think another companion. Granted, it's been Rose and Donna, but like, she like kind of put the bar out there and was like, "You got to earn that title," and that
Yeah.
kind of earned brownie points with me a little bit more.
Yeah, I
Is she
mean,
the only professional that the Doctor has?
well,
Rose worked in a shop.
Rose is just
Donna
minimum
was
wage.
basically a drone
She's
in
temp.
a temp agency.
Clara's like a
nanny.
babysitter slash teacher.
It's called being a nanny.
Amy was.
Amy was a
Model.
kissogram to start with. And
Yep.
then, well, she was a
Model.
professional model.
Yeah,
but
well,
this
Rory-
isn't
Rory
like
was a
degree
nurse.
program kind
Rory
of
was a
stuff.
nurse.
And in the original,
Rory was.
in classic Who, he traveled with some of his first companions. In addition to his granddaughter, he traveled with 2 teachers.
Oh, that's right.
So
Did Mickey have a job,
Mickey,
or was he just a mooch?
He was a mechanic
Yeah,
at one point.
That's right.
yeah.
I don't know if he started that way.
But being a
Mickey the
mechanic,
mooch.
That's hard work. That's
Well, it's a lot
learning.
of technical knowledge,
Yeah.
Minnie the mooch.
know-how. But yeah, not like high-level degree kind of stuff. This is definitely the highest professional grade of companion that he's had.
I would definitely say so. Which is why she would put that bar so high,
Yeah,
especially
which is why
when
she
it's
would care about what he's called.
a profession she's studying for.
Right, yeah.
She's like, okay, I'm not just gonna call you doctor.
Yeah. So I think in that respect, it's very interesting that they made Martha, studying to be a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic.
Finally you have. Although I think that's a fun contrast into from Rose, because here you have that shop girl who dropped out of school for a boy, but she goes on these crazy adventures with the Doctor, and she learns so much and she grows so much as a person. And then here you have Martha, who is kind of that rock solid character, not only in her family, but who is also really going out there and wanting to be a doctor.
Yeah, she's got
Right.
something to
Really
go back.
learned.
She's got something going on Earth.
She does. She's not just waiting around for the next best thing. She's doing the next best thing. She's got it going on. In more ways than one.
Yeah, it's different. It's different.
It is. It is.
Anyways. Yeah.
Well,
Anybody
Always.
catch the poster?
What was the poster?
Vote for Saxon.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
yes, Saxon.
Saxon was quite...
this will be important later on, listeners. So if this is your first time going through Who,
The Saxon references will just get thicker and thicker as we go on.
this is important. Also, speaking of, Burn With Me, a
Yeah.
reference to another episode. I thought that was a funny coinky dink. It probably was just a coincidence and has
Possibly.
no significance.
Who wrote that one? The Burn With Me one. Was that Rusty?
We haven't actually gotten to that one yet.
Oh, that's
we
right.
haven't, have we?
No.
Whoops.
Spoilers.
Oh no, not spoiling.
No,
I think it's a funny coinky dink. The
That lady
doctor.
was a super creep.
Oh, she really was.
The straw.
She uses a plastic straw. Like, come on, we're in the hospital. There's syringes.
There's
Just picture her. She
syringes.
walks up to her and she's like, "I've got my straw."
That straw goes far too easily into necks.
Yeah,
It's
no.
not sharp. It's not even metal. I mean, be kind to the
And if she
planet.
stuck it in your neck, there would just be like a little flesh tube.
Jen is
You'd have to-
freaking out. Yep.
Ah.
So
Gross.
let's talk about how the sonic
Just make her a
screwdriver-
vampire and be done.
The sonic screwdriver got decimated.
Oh, it got.
By a radiation machine, apparently.
Well, yeah, I mean, he kicked the radiation up to like crazy,
That's
I
true.
thought-
crazy level.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And
I feel
then
like
melted it
a
into his
lot
shoe.
More things would have melted under that level of radiation.
Just the Sonic. Remember, he played with radiation in the nursery.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, well, his clothes didn't.
Well,
It's true.
I don't think cotton stands up to 5,000% X-ray radiation.
but his magical blue suit does stand up to the radiation. So you're gonna need to come up with a new thing to pay attention to for Martha, Jen. Rose
It's
had her tongue
true.
active. What is Martha going to have?
I don't know yet.
Ooh.
How many times she kisses the doctor, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe.
Martha's gotta have a quirk. Gotta have a quirk.
It's true.
I'm sure we'll find it.
Gotta watch this actress very closely.
We're
Yes.
critical. We'll find it.
Not as close
I
as
always
David
find
Tennant.
something. Oh, David Tennant and his magical, luscious locks.
Crazy.
Which were crazy in this episode. It's like a
Great.
friggin' Super Saiyan at one point when they're all flying straight up in the air.
I am jealous of the hairdresser that got to touch his hair.
Kind of looked like he was doing it for the most part. Just
I'm not a creepy fangirl, but I'm jealous.
Join the club.
It's okay. Most people want to touch his hair.
Alrighty.
Moving on.
Joel's apparently
Well,
the
we got
leader
a
of the
whole
creepy
lot
fan club.
left.
Oh, Jax. Yes.
Any other interesting points?
Well, of course, Martha, don't go down that alley by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Don't go down alleys.
Look at me. I'm
period.
just creeping here on the center.
I've
Smile. head
The
down,
doctor is
walk down
creeper.
the alley. I
Very
think he's
much so.
just hyper confident that he's just not aware of what's normal.
Human interactions. Because he's Gallifreyan.
And he knows he's good looking. Just kind of like, oh, I know you're going to follow me if I raise my eyebrows and just kind of saunter down this alleyway.
Saunter.
Saunter,
That
saunter,
is what he
saunter.
does.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how people die, by going down alleyways.
It's true.
Martha's lucky. He could have been a real creeper.
It's true.
Creeper, no creeping.
Swiper, no swiping people.
But definitely very much looking forward to the next episode.
Indeed.
The next episode being the Shakespeare Code.
The Shakespeare.
A lot of literary fun to be had there.
I shall enjoy this quite thoroughly.
I was not really big into Shakespeare before that episode, but I don't know. It just made it fun. It made it fun. A little more personal.
Doctor Who opening the doorways to Shakespeare, science, and other historical learnings.
Indeed.
Mostly when I thought Shakespeare, I thought, everyone dies. This is depressing.
Not everyone
Those were the
dies.
fun bits.
He has comedies.
Most people die.
It's true.
Anyways, but that wraps it up for today. So thanks for joining us for Smith and Joe's. Much Martha ahead as we move into the third season. Thanks for joining us. Tune in next time.